Hello world, my name is DeAndre Horton and I've decided to start a video project called The Thoughts of an Outcast, where I bring you my thoughts on various social, political, personal, and other issues, as well as a few other surprises as I just give you my thoughts on the world and society today, as well as hopefully giving an uplifting and motivational message through my thoughts. So the very first topic that I want to discuss in my video is love, because it's the holiday season, and as we all know, love is a very important part of just anyone's life, really. And it's a big part of the holiday season. You see the commercials and things encouraging us all to spread holiday warmth and cheer. So I just want to take a stroll down the love lane because I thought that would be a very good topic for this first video. Now, love, obviously, in my opinion, has changed quite drastically from my grandparents' generation to my generation. When my grandparents were growing up, love seemed to be something that mattered more in the world. People actually seemed to genuinely love one another in their time. But in my generation, it seems that love is just taking on a completely a new meaning. And people don't value love as much as they used to or as they should. Because I look at when I was in high school and even below that, growing up as a little kid, seeing several people have their friendships broken up over just the smallest of things, and then seeing it even as I was in high school, friendships still being broken up over a matter of the smallest thing, and not willing to try to work things out. And then the backbiting and the backstabbing and the constant talking about one another, it really just troubled me and bothered me because I'm just thinking to myself, at this age, we kind of on our way to becoming adults. I figured all that stuff that we kind of did as little kids would like come to pass, but as I saw, it's not always the case. And then love from a relationship standpoint, whether it's boyfriend and girlfriend couple or married couple, that too is taking on a different meaning. I see with girls or women, they always talk about there aren't any good men, but that's not the case, really. I mean, most women who say that seem to, well, the ones I've been around have always seemed to pick one type of guy, one certain type of guy that they would date, and then they would say that. But that is not the case. You have to go out in life and have to experience different types of people in order to get that across, your point across. If you've experienced several different kinds of people and then they kind of all had that about them, then you could say they were all the same. But if you have not experienced, but just this, for the most part, one type of person, how can you really say that? And I think that a main focus of society, as far as it comes to relationships, we look at the materialistic things that people have. What they have is big time values and their personal outer appearance instead of looking at the content of their character. Because yes, a person can have money, nice cars and clothes, but just because they've been able to avoid the luxurious things in life does not necessarily mean that their heart is in the right place. And I mean, like I said, I see this with people all the time. It ain't got necessarily be them having a relationship with a person who's able to afford the richer things. They could just be with a person because they think that that person is cool, or they have this certain charisma or swag about themselves, and true enough, they might have that sort of air to them. But when it gets down to it and they have to deal with the person behind that, the person is a monster within themselves, and then they're stuck in a miserable relationship. And I don't want that for anybody. That's why I encourage anyone, when you're out there in a relationship, do your research. And then once you get in a relationship, pay attention to the small details about a person. You can learn a lot just by taking a step back and just paying attention to what you see around you. So my concluding message for this very first video on this topic of love would be, you know, as my generation goes, we need to try to take a page out of the past generation's playbook, our grandparents' playbook, and even our parents' playbook, because it seemed like those two generations knew what was going on with love. I think that in this generation now, we mostly live in a instant type of society. Live in the moment. We want what we want, and we want it now. We don't want to take the time for something to gradually grow. We just want it to just sprout out automatically. But life is not like that. Life takes time. It's a process, and you got to go through some stuff to know some stuff, and to be able to say, well, I know what I don't want and what I do want in life. And when you've experienced enough, then you'll know, okay, well, this is the person for me, or this is who I know that I want to spend my life with. So again, I think we just need to get back to the old school values of love and care for one another, our family, our friends, our spouses or partners if we're in boyfriend girlfriend relationships, and just truly try to understand what the real meaning of love is. And if we care about somebody, truly mean it. Don't toss the word love around like it's a frisbee, because love is something sacred and should be treated as such. It shouldn't be treated as something that's second rate. So that's my message for this very first video. I hope people enjoyed it, but if you didn't, negative criticism as well as positive is much greatly appreciated. So tell me about it in the comment section, and also drop suggestions as to what you might want to see me talk about next. This is DeAndre Horton signing off with the thoughts of an outcast.